I think it's working. Never mind. I was contacting Jay for help. Y'all, the way I tested this freaking morning, solely because this exact same thing happened last time, where I was like, that light's gonna be annoying, but that's fine. This happened last time where I was like, I'm gonna do a live stream, and I did, and then I couldn't get on the live stream. I couldn't get on the live stream, and I was like, what the heck? So I tested it this morning and everything was fine. And then, of course, I went to go do it and it didn't work. So the link that I sent out, I see you. Yay. Can you hear me? You can hear me, right? I hope you can hear me. Awesome. Perfect. I was just about to type to you and be like, thank you, but you can hear me. Yeah, I tested it this morning and it was totally fine. And then, of course, it has to blow up in my face. Thanks, YouTube. I'm excited. We're going to do a spoiler talk for the Summer I Turned Pretty. I am so excited for tomorrow's episode. I said this in the videos that I put out, that if you have not watched season 3, you do not want to be in here. Also, what are you doing? Go watch season 3. Because we're going to be spoiler city over here. I'm so excited for this new episode. So I just want to make sure everybody's aware of that. You know, I did put it in the, I don't know if I could even click on that now. I'm afraid to click on anything and get me out of here. I did put that in the title, but yeah, I don't want to click out of it. I'm afraid to. I did put it in the title that it was going to be spoilery, but now I don't know what the title is because it messed up. So hopefully people will see that. Hi, Priya. I'm so excited for Conrad's POV. The way I gasped at the end of season or episode 4, if you watched my reaction, and I'm Team Jelly, but I am still so excited to see his point of view. I gasped the second I heard his voice. I was like, "Oh," because it's gotta be, right? It's gotta be his point of view. There's no way that it's not. It's not. If they play with us, if they mess with us and they don't give us the point of view, I'm gonna be upset. So yeah, I'm really excited to see his point of view and get that episode. I think it's gonna be really exciting too because I am a Swiftie. I don't know if there's any Swifties in here, but we have not gotten Taylor music since the first episode. The first episode was the only episode that we got a Taylor song, and it was right at the very end. It was a very small snippet. So I'm expecting a Taylor song for sure in episode 5. It's going to be so good. I'm expecting a Gracie song. Ooh, I love Gracie. Gracie, and I need a Taylor song too. Yeah, we definitely need a Taylor song. Gracie song, The Story of Us. Or is just Us. The Story of Us is Taylor. Us, they collaborated. I Love You, I'm Sorry is a need. That's just the way love goes. That could definitely be one. Oh, I thought of a good one just before, and I was like, this has got to be in it. And now I can't remember what it was. Guilty as Sin. I was thinking Taylor Swift's Guilty as Sin would be a really, really interesting one for Belly. What if he's written mine on my upper thigh? Only in my mind. Because we always hear in her mind that she's thinking of Conrad. Yes, for the surfboard scene. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I'm interested to see what they have in the episode from book to screen because they have been changing certain things like slightly. I'm wondering if we are going to get Conrad's point of view for the Christmas flashback. I think that would be really interesting because I have been talking with a few people about this and I've only seen like one person that agreed with me. So let me know what y'all think about this. I think that Conrad went to Cousins on Christmas with the intentions of never going on the Christmas trip. didn't expect to see Belly there, but I think he was like, you know what, empty house, I'm just going to relax in my comfort zone and be me and do whatever. And then Belly was there, and then he stayed, and then he never went on the Christmas trip. Because if you go back and you watch that scene, he comes in and he says to Belly, "Where's Jer?" Why would you ask Belly where Jeremiah is if you're going to see Jeremiah? Like, the whole point you're there is because your flight got delayed because you're going to see Jeremiah and Adam. And then she says he's in, I can't ever pronounce it, Kimawa or something, skiing. And he goes, "Oh, right." And then she's like, "Aren't you supposed to be meeting them there?" And he's like, my flight got delayed because of the weather. I think he even says they're trying to reschedule it for tomorrow. And then we know the next day they spend the whole day with each other. And then we hear later on that he never went on the Christmas trip. So I'm curious to see if that is in part of this episode, if we get his point of view on that. Let's see what people are saying. Oh, there's people in here. I'm so excited. I didn't know if anybody was going to show. Iron Man, Jenny is directing the episode first time. Yeah, I didn't know that either until recently. I saw that she's directing it. I also saw that, I don't know if you guys saw this, the rumor of it being 90 minutes. I don't know why I let myself believe that. I saw so many posts about it and I was like, where is everybody getting this information from? Because I went on IMDb. It was not on there. Not that IMDb is always reliable, as we know if you are a member of my TikTok. I posted a TikTok before the season aired about how they were dropping all of the episodes at once because that's what IMDb said. And that's obviously not what happened. But yeah, I was so excited because I was like, oh my God, we're getting 90 minutes. And then Jenny Han, I guess, sent a TikTok out about how that's not happening, but it is going to be an extra long episode. Jenny Marie, I'm Team Connie Baby and a Swiftie. All Too Well was actually playing during the Christmas scene when she's doing the crossword. I saw that of Jenny Han's TikTok too. All Too Well. I feel like this is cliche maybe to say, or maybe like I feel like some might consider this a cop out. All Too Well is my favorite song. All Too Well 10-minute version is my favorite Taylor Swift song ever. I think it is a masterpiece. I truly, truly do. There's a plethora of other Swiftie songs that I love, but All Too Well 10-minute version, I will listen to that all day. Yes, that would be so cool. Yes, Jenny, that's actually such a great prediction. Thank you. I was surprised that a lot of other people, when I brought it up, they were like, no, I don't think so. I think that his flight got delayed. He just ended up there. But I'm like, why would he ask where Jeremiah is, though? Like, if I'm going to see somebody and then I see their significant other, a lot of people were saying, well, they're always together, Jer and Belly. So, like, you see Belly, you wonder where Jer is. Yeah, but I'm going to see Jeremiah. I'm not going to ask where Jeremiah is. So we'll see if that's touched on. But for some reason, they didn't use it. Didn't use All Too Well in the show. Maybe it's in this one. Maybe it's going to be in episode 5. No, I was going to say maybe it's going to be in episode 5, but Conrad wouldn't see her walking up to the book. I think that was just to like set a mood, but maybe it's going to be in episode 5, and that was like a little spoiler she sent us. I would love if it was in there. I need Taylor songs. We need Taylor songs. It is kind of surprising, is it not, that it was littered with Taylor songs in seasons 1 and 2, and we've only gotten one so far. If the Swifties out there know, track 5s are always Taylor's most heartfelt, emotionally draining sometimes songs. She has said time and time again that she puts her most emotional, deep songs on track 5s, and we're getting an episode 5. So I think maybe we're going to even get more than one Taylor song, but a Gracie song also would be great. And some more Gracie songs, and Mess It Up, and I Miss You, I'm Sorry. All great ones. I got the Gracie Abrams Record Store Day live at Radio City Music Hall vinyl. It sounds so amazing. I love that vinyl. Mine too. All Too Well 10-minute version. You know what's funny? I was doing the listening party when they were streaming all the albums, and when All Too Well came up, I was like, this doesn't feel right. I listened, obviously, and I was there for the listening party throughout the remainder of the song, but it didn't feel right. Now, whenever I don't listen to the 10-minute version, I'm like, there's so much missing. It's so much missing. And I need more Conrad scenes. That's what I think is really interesting about this season. Like, I love the first two seasons. I think they are phenomenal. The third season truly feels like nobody's really happy. Like, Jelly's not happy because of all the chaos happening, and Bonrad's not happy because Conrad's barely freaking in the show. Nobody's happy. So I'm like, what is happening with this season? That's why I think I'm so excited for this episode, because this, just knowing or assuming that it's going to be from Conrad's point of view, I feel like is really going to put us back into the feel of the show and what it usually is, and how it just like, oh, I don't know. I think it's just going to feel good. It's going to feel right. It's going to make everything fall back into place. Iron Man, which episode do you think Belly goes to Paris? I don't know. So I saw a TikTok of Cam Cameron. I love him so much. I am team Cam Cameron above all else. But I don't know the actor's name, but I saw a TikTok of him, and potential spoiler, because he was doing an interview, and I think they were asking him about Chris, like if they were friends or if they hang out or something like that. And he had mentioned that he was in Paris or near Paris filming something. And so he's like, so when I was there and Chris was there, we met up and we like hung out or something along the lines of that. And everybody was like, Chris was in Paris? Why was Chris in Paris? If they were filming, does that mean that Conrad was in Paris? So I don't know. I feel like it's we get 11 episodes, right? And this is 5. I want to say 9. 5, 6, 7, maybe 8, but I'm going to go with 9. What do you guys think? I don't know, maybe episode 7 or 8. I'm going to say 9, only because if this is the next one's 5, it's definitely not going to be that one. I think 6 is going to throw us back into everybody else's point of view. 7 will be kind of wrapping up stuff and her determining, like, I want to go. And then maybe 9 will be her going. I loved the short film. Oh my gosh. I loved it too. And I cry every time I watch it. Sadie Sink. Sadie Sink is amazing. I love her in that. And Dylan O'Brien. Dylan O'Brien was like the perfect casting choice. I always feel like whenever I watch him in something too, he seems like such a nice, kind person, which I'm sure he is. But in that, you want to like, you mad at him. So it's a sign of good acting that he can make me feel that way. Sadie, yeah, same. Sadie was so good. The Styles girl in me was in heaven. Yeah, no, for real. And it just doesn't feel right. It just doesn't, right? Like the season was off-putting for some reason. I loved seasons 1 and 2 more. Me too. David Incanio is his name. Okay. Yeah, I have to look up what else he's been in. Or do you all know if he's been in any movies or shows that I might like? I really, really like him. And truly, I loved Cameron. I loved Cam Cameron so much. I think I understand why it ended. But that boy could be teaching her about whales. She could be out on a boat, just living life in Cousins. Oh, I love Cam. like, unpopular opinion, I love Steven and Shayla more. I really liked Shayla too. I actually really liked Steven and Shayla. I think what happened there is they changed so much in season 2 from the book to the show, which I don't have a problem with. I actually loved the spin with Aunt Julia and Sky and that whole edition. I know some people didn't like it. I really liked it, but I think because they changed so much and they maybe realized that Taylor and Steven, a lot of people liked them even just as individuals because they're not really that prominent in the books either. I think they were like, let's put them together. It'll make things easy. But yeah, I liked Shayla. Have you not seen Exo Kitty? I have. I have seen Exo Kitty. Is he in that? Oh my gosh. So I have seen Exo Kitty. I've seen the second season too. I actually binge watched the entire second season in one day. Those episodes are so short, and I like short episodes because I can marathon them very easily. But then, like, I want more episodes. I want more episodes, but I watched the first season so long ago. When did the second one come out? Like a few months ago, right? I don't remember. Is he in that? Prom Queen Fear Street. Oh my gosh, I haven't watched that yet. I'm gonna write that down. I'm gonna write that down. Thank you, Priya. Prom Queen. I watched all the other Fear Streets years ago. Totally forgot about that one. You know what it is? My partner Robbie, he hates horror movies. I am a horror movie freak. I love horror movies. The scarier, the better. He doesn't like them. And I know that that one's more like a mild horror movie, but it's just like not his thing. So whenever I have time where I'm not recording, I'm watching something with him usually, and it's not his thing. So I got to put that on my list. I have, and it's so good. Steven and Shayla are dating in real life. Really? Sean and Minnie. Oh, that's cute. I know, but I love them in the show more than Taylor and Steven. Yeah, again, season 3, I'm very disappointed. I'm having fun with it. Don't get me wrong. I'm having a lot of fun with it. I really like season 3. I just love this show overall. But season 3 is definitely at the bottom for me. I feel like we were robbed of so much content. And I get it because it's the last season. So they feel like they have to wrap up the story, obviously, and they only have so many episodes to do it with. My problem is that we have extra episodes. So if I'm not mistaken, it was 7 in the first season, 8 in the second, and 11 in this one. So if we're getting extra episodes, utilize that time. And we did the 4-year time jump or 3-year instead of 2. And it was like we started, and then Taylor and Steven were broken up. Belly and Jeremiah were moving in, and then all of a sudden it was years later. And it's like, I feel like season 3 has been like all over the place. We got to see none of Taylor's relationship. We got to see none of Jelly's relationship. And I have to keep reminding myself that there has been a time jump because none of these characters have grown. Like everybody I feel is the exact same they were. So it's just like it's weird. It feels weird that they have the time jump, but I feel like nothing is different. And then we miss so much at the same time. But I guess Steven and Taylor, I was shipping hard at the end of season 2. And I was so excited to see them. And then we didn't. And now I honestly could care less if we see them. I I laugh and I giggle at Steven's banter with Denise at work, and I sympathize and feel bad for Taylor feeling like she has to be a mom to her mom, but I kind of also don't care. And I don't care because we're already at episode 5 and there's so much happening with Belly, Jer, and Conrad that like I don't want time wasted on Steven and Taylor's story, especially because I don't care about their relationship because we didn't say it. We didn't say it. Is it good? Is it good? Is what good? Is it good? Oh God, what did I say? I haven't heard good things. Oh, I haven't heard good things about Fear Street Prom Queen. Is it good? Oh, I don't have my glasses on. Is it good? It's so good. Okay. It's good. I like it. I'm going to watch it. It's definitely on my list. Yeah, I didn't hear the greatest things about it either. But I get iffy. Like I read reviews, but I also don't I take them with a grain of salt. I like a lot of things that a lot of people don't like, and I feel like a lot of people tend to criticize things for the sake of views or just like getting a conversation started so the algorithm triggers things. Um so yeah, I didn't hear it was great, but I don't know. I feel like I would like it. Might be an Maitoi the goat. Might be an unpopular opinion, but I want Belly to choose Summer, aka herself, aka not Jeremiah or Conrad. You know, I see so many people being like, I swear if that happens, I will riot. I will be okay with it. I honestly would. I would be okay with it too. I don't think it's gonna happen. I'll say that. I don't think it's going to happen. At first, I was thinking it was because Jenny had said so much that book readers are going to be surprised. Book readers are going to be surprised. We're surprised, all right. But it's not because the ending is going to be different, I think. Maybe it is, but I have a feeling that Conrad's going to be endgame. I wouldn't be disappointed if she chose Summer and Paris and time to find herself in her 20s because your 20s are very important. I want her to choose Conrad though. I can see that. I feel like choosing Conrad is inevitable because it's our stereotypical love triangle, main boy, side boy, she's going to choose kind of a situation is what it feels like. Even oh, I don't want to give any spoilers. Even all right, well, no, see, now I can't say it because if I say it, then it's gonna spoil. All right, I'm sorry if it spoils for anybody, but the kissing booth, that's kinda how they did the kissing booth ending, right? Is where like, "Oh, she chose herself," but they still kind of alluded to where it's like, she's choosing Noah. You know, like, she chose herself, but she's choosing Noah, we know that. Do you watch K-dramas or CD dramas? I have a Patreon for those of you who don't know, and I have had requests on the Patreon. What was one that I did that was really good? Oh, I can't remember. I reacted to The Boyfriend, which was a reality show. It wasn't well, I want to say a fake show. Maybe some of it was scripted, but it was shown as a reality show. What Only Friends. Only Friends? I did that a while back. That was really good. Actually, I wonder if a second season ever came out of that. That was really good. Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff on there that I did do. I can't think of the names right now, but I have done that before. She might choose herself and then become better and then chooses Conrad in Paris. That could be, and then maybe we wouldn't get Paris until the end. But ever since that interview that I watched with Cam Cameron, I think we're gonna get Conrad in Paris, which kind of shifts my view of some things and how it might go. But it also could have just been like, I don't know, maybe Chris was just hanging out there. Maybe he's not in it, but we'll see. That I would probably be okay with. I just think she definitely needs some time alone and to grow by herself. I do too. I see a decent amount of people saying like Belly lost herself and hasn't grown. I think I don't think it's that she lost herself. I do agree that she hasn't grown much. I agree that Jeremiah hasn't grown much either. I don't necessarily blame their relationship for that. I think it's the fact that they're isolated at college. I think that college, is usually a time where you find yourself and you grow. So you could say the growth is stunted because they're in a relationship at college. But I think it's just like that whole little bubble of being at Finch in general, where like she hasn't had to experience the world or go out and venture and have these different kind of situations to be in. So I definitely agree with that. I think she needs some alone time. I think she needs time away from everybody and just be like in her own element. Yeah, I agree. I just rewatched last two seasons. I feel I did too. Actually, I'm not done with the second season rewatch. I think I'm on episode 4, 3 or 4. But I've been binging it like crazy. I feel like season 2 should have been more spread out because all of the season literally happened in 1 or 2 weeks max. Yeah, what's interesting? I looking back at it, it didn't feel like that because so much happened. It felt like it was a lot longer. And then I was watching a video on TikTok of somebody talking about season 2, and they were like, some such and such like a week or a week and a half, and I was like, "Was it really that short?" It felt like it was so much longer. But yeah, I was surprised when I was like, "Damn!" And now I'm happy that I'm rewatching it. Ashley, hi Ashley, thank you for joining in. I'm so excited that you're here, everybody. That's my friend Ashley. We did a movie reaction together. We have to do another reaction, Ash. She is also a part of the Always the Last to Know podcast. If you have not checked them out, go check them out. They're amazing. Evax, Team Conrad, Team Connie Baby. I'm not gonna lie, I'm Team Jelly, but Connie Baby just it rolls off the tongue so nicely. Team Connie Baby. So Ash, since you're just jumping in, we were talking about how we're fairly certain that we're gonna get a Taylor song in episode 5. We have to, right? We have the track 5, Tay Voodoo. It's episode 5. We haven't gotten a Taylor song since the first episode. It's got to happen, right? We got the teaser of All Too Well. If we don't get a Taylor song in this episode, I'll lose my mind. That's what I'm saying. Song predictions. So I was thinking, and this is honestly because maybe, again, Tay Voodoo. It just popped on my Spotify when I was in the car earlier. The All Too Well Caesar sold it for me, right? Like, I feel like she's hinting, like, don't worry. I know I've only had one. I know I've only had one in the first episode for a snippet. You're getting a Taylor song. This is only because it randomly popped onto my Spotify when I was in the car earlier. Guilty as Sin. Because I was listening to the lyrics. What if he's written mine on my upper thigh, only in my mind? We only hear Belly talk about Conrad in her mind now. Right? I'm tripping over things we never did. Am I allowed to cry? I'm thinking that would be maybe a good one. I'm tracking. I'm thinking Guilty as Sin. Priya said maybe a Gracie song. So then I was thinking Taylor and Gracie collab, Us. And could be Gracie, I Love You, I'm Sorry. That would be a good one too. There's so many that could apply. And to be completely honest with you, I will be happy with whatever. I will be happy with whatever song they want to give us. Us would be so good, right? Like you have to assume that it's going to probably either be like a very strongly love-based song because we're most likely getting Conrad's point of view, or it's going to be an internal struggle of some sort with Belly and therefore get something like that for her background. Not gonna lie, last scene of episode 4, I have literally watched so many times. I was saying earlier in here, I gasped. Not only did I gasp, but I was like, I jumped. Maybe it wasn't as intense as I just did it, but it felt like that in my head. I gasped and I was like, like I legitimately was shocked because I was just they did it so well, right? They did it so well, like, Conrad and her getting excited, and she jumps into his arms, and then it closes up on his face, and then boom, and I was like, "Oh," I literally had chills. I had chills, and I was like, "Oh my god, that was good. That was a good ending." How do you think Belly and Jeremiah's relationship will end? Will it be messy or mutual? First, I want to say Ludmila Brito Medeiros. I apologize if I butchered your name. This is me trying. That would be a good one. That would be a good one. I'm also a folklore girly, so I am totally on board with that. So, how do you think Belly and Jeremiah's relationship will end? Will it be messy, mutual? I have no freaking clue because I was going into this season. Again, I've stated many times before, I am Team Jelly. I was going into this season fully aware of what was going to happen because I watched seasons 1 and 2. I wasn't going to read the books, but then I was going through withdrawal and I was like, I need to. I need to. I didn't want to be spoiled, but I was like, I need to. And it's also because a lot of people in the comments were like, read the books. And I was getting nervous because a lot of people were starting to be a little spoilery with their comments because they'd be like, oh, well, this happened in the book or that. And I was like, you know what? I just have to read them. So I've read the books, fully aware of what was going to happen going into season 3. I truly did not expect them to do as much as they did differently from the books in regards to, like, again, Jeremiah sleeping with Lacey twice, the whole way that the fight scene kind of derived, certain mothering aspects that they're giving to Belly instead of Jeremiah. They changed a lot from the book. So because they're changing so much that way, I'll tell you what I hope. What I hope is that it will be mutual, not only for my sake, but for their sake. Because if you have, like, I know that we're all in the Summer I Turned Pretty world. We're in this fabricated world and it's fake and it's a TV show and, like, these are characters. But if you truly think about Belly dating Jeremiah for 4 years, getting engaged to him, and then having it broken off so that she could be with his brother Conrad, that's going to make for some awkward parties. Let me tell you, that is going to make for some awkward holidays. So I really, really hope that it's mutual. And I feel like they're gonna make it mutual. Maybe not mutual, but not messy. Maybe not mutual, but not messy. I feel like Jeremiah is going to instigate the thought of breaking off the engagement, and then maybe it'll be mutual, and then it won't be messy. Hopefully. I want happy endings for everybody. Do we think episode 5 will reveal Jeremiah's cheating to Conrad? I don't think so. I think that episode 5 is going to be scenes that we have already experienced just from his point of view. I don't think we're necessarily going to get new scenes or new situations. I think it's strictly going to be how he perceived things and what he felt and experienced. Maybe towards the end, they'll lead us into something new, but I could be totally wrong. I saw a lot of people saying, well, they're in cousins now, and it's just Belly and Conrad. So we're going to see like a whole episode of him being around Belly and cousins now. I don't think I agree with that. I think it's going to be a lot of flashbacks and it's going to show us all the things that he felt leading up to him saying, "What did I do?" Because a lot of people are like, "What did you do? Why are you saying that? Why do you feel like that?" We're going to see why. But it could be that we get new stuff. Nah, Conrad won't find out yet. Yeah, I think that might be saved for I think it'll be before Paris though. I'll say that. We were saying that what episode do you think Paris is going to happen? I'm thinking episode 9. So maybe that will come episode 8. And maybe that's kind of what starts to blow things up and make her think like, I need to go to Paris. I think Conrad will find out about cheating at the end of episode 6. So I'll be the one after this, possibly. That could be because So again, I've read the books. I know how it happens in the book. Without giving spoilers of that, I will say that is possibility. Because if we get episode 5, it's Conrad's point of view. As I just said, it's going to be showing all of the past things leading up to why he feels the way he felt at the end of season or episode 4. Then episode 6 could be him and Belly at Cousins, things being discussed, it coming out. Boom, it happens in episode 6. That could happen. Kenna, my guess is episode 7, assuming that's the bachelor/bachelorette parties. That's what I'm it's again, the timeline is so hard to guess with what they're doing. I feel I was saying this before, we get 11 episodes this season, and I feel like the first 4 episodes had so much jam-packed into certain scenes and then like so much dragged in certain scenes where I'm like, how does it feel so stifling yet so open at the same time? It's bizarre. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know the timeline. It's confusing me. I genuinely cannot wait to watch that go down though. That's going to be interesting because nobody knows. Nobody knows except for Annika and Taylor, right? Annika Taylor and Redbird, who we haven't seen and I guess just disappeared. I saw a theory that someone was like, I don't think this is going to happen, but I was like, that could be a really interesting twist. I don't think it's going to happen though. That the conversation that Jeremiah was having with Redbird when he was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. Belly, and he was all upset. The way that Redbird was acting was a little sus. Like he was kind of like looking at Jeremiah and maybe had more feelings on the situation that he was putting off. And somebody was suggesting maybe Redbird has a thing for Jeremiah and that might come up because I feel like we are going to be presented with somebody to end up with Jeremiah possibly. But I don't know. I don't think that's going to happen. That would be interesting if it did though. I would love to hear Conrad's inner monologue. I think we're just going to get a reaction from him. I don't think we'll hear in his head what he thinks about that. Kenna, I think we're going to get flashbacks, some Belly Conrad scenes, present day, and Conrad talking to Laurel in this episode. By the way, this is my humidifier. Ignore the mist of fog that I'm in. Conrad scenes present day and Conrad talking to Laurel in this episode. We haven't gotten a Laurel Connie conversation, the first baby. So that would be interesting. Next episode is crucial, Belly Conrad moments, and then the bridal shower. Right, the bridal shower. We have to have that one too. And that was a snippet of that was shown in the trailer because we have Taylor and Belly talking. So when would the bridal shower fit in? 7, maybe episode 7. So 5, Conrad's point of view. 6, Belly Conrad at Cousins. 7, bridal shower. 8, blow up. 9, Paris. Possibly. Excuse me. Ash, I don't know if you were in here when we said this. I saw that it's not 90-minute episode tomorrow, but it is going to be a little longer than usual, which again, I will take whatever I can get. You know what I wish they were doing, but at the same time, I don't know. I wish we were getting trailers for the next episodes. I wish we were getting trailers for the next episodes. I don't think we got them last year, or not last year, but last season. I don't think we got trailers for those episodes too, but I wish we got trailers because I feel like it's so long between episodes that it would be fun to kind of dissect a trailer. Ash, how do we think she'll make the decision to actually go to Paris? Like, is someone going to be like belly snap out of it? Good question. I think that Laurel's gonna have a lot to say. I think that Laurel's gonna have a lot to say about that. I think that it might be a conversation between her and Taylor because I feel like Belly choosing to stay and not go to Paris parallels Taylor choosing to stay and not go to New York. So I feel like it's going to be a conversation between the two of them. And knowing Taylor, she's probably going to be like, "What the are you crazy? You have to go to Paris." And then Belly's going to be like, "Then you have to go to New York." Like, you're doing the same thing. You're choosing to not go to New York. And then they're going to argue about why they're doing it and maybe come to the conclusion that they both should go and freaking do what they are destined to do, which is be themselves and find themselves. I think 6 bridal shower, 7 bachelor, bachelorette, 8 wedding, and aftermath 9 Paris. I don't know because then we'll have 10 and 11. We'll have two whole episodes to where like I don't know what necessarily they would do with it. But again, they could be changing things. They could be changing things a lot to where like maybe we'll get another time jump. Maybe we'll get like a crazy long time jump. And then that'll be the last 2 episodes. We also really need to fix this Taylor mom situation. So maybe a whole freaking episode will be dedicated to that. Jenny Marie, when Conrad brought up the bachelor party, I felt they were setting that up. Yeah, I felt they were too, like little hints. You go back and watch at least for seasons 1 and 2. I don't know if I can handle rewatching season 3, but I kind of do because I watched the episode and then I have to edit it. So I do a second rewatch. And I think I watched it for a third time, episode 1 at least. But if you go back and rewatch these episodes, knowing what we know now, there are so many things that are foreshadowed and so many things that are hinted where it's like even just little phrases, like little one-liners that a character will say, and then like episodes later that line will be referenced and it's so small. We're like, oh my gosh, oh god, I should have wrote it down. There was something that Belly said. I can't remember what it was now. Maybe it'll come to me. Something she said in season 1, and it was such a small line, but like an impactful one. And then I was watching season 2 and she said it like that. And I was like, I wouldn't have caught that unless I rewatched it like I did. Meredith Murphy, just want to say that I appreciate hearing a perspective that tries to understand both sides. LOL. Some of the reactions to this show are so intense. Meredith. Boy, do I agree. I have to say, thank you, first off. I appreciate that. I do try to be very level with everything because at the end of the day, it is content that we are soaking in. It's a fictional world, it's characters, and that's the way they're written. So we got to dissect what is written, right? I try to be very level headed. And again, I am very aware it's a love triangle. We have a boy that is most likely going to win. We kind of have a feel of who it's going to be. And so I'm not ignorant to that. But this fandom can get very intense, can get very, very intense. I am fortunate that everybody who seems to comment on my reaction videos is so good and so respectful. And maybe that's because I keep saying, please, please, please be respectful. But they are. I have to say, everybody in the comments has been so good. I see Jellies talking to Bonrads and people understanding each other and maybe disagreeing, but trying to see the other's point of view. And it's so beautiful. And I absolutely love that. I had one comment out of the 4 episodes. It took 4 episodes, but I had one comment on the last episode where someone called me shallow and stupid AF, and they kind of just generalized Jellies as stupid AF. But they said that, and I got a notification for it. I saw it. I went to comment back. The comment was deleted. They replaced it with something else that was still very insulting. And I answered that, and I was like, I saw your comment. Saw your original one. Haven't had to say this to anybody, but this conversation will end here if you continue that kind of behavior. Gave my response, and then they deleted their thread, probably because they were very embarrassed, because it was legitimately the only person that I've had to say that to out of like 700 comments between the 4 videos. So yeah, it's really hard to find most people I feel are so strong on the other side. A lot of what I also see is like, if you are one side, you have to hate the other side. That's what I see a lot of. And I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. Like, I don't want to hate them. I want to understand them. If anything, I want to know why they think that way, or I want to know what their opinion is and how they got there. I'm not going to just hate on them. I feel like that's very typical in this fandom, where it's like, you have to hate Conrad if you're Jelly, and you have to hate Jeremiah if you're Bonrad. Not in this house. No. Kenna, I hope Conrad and Belly have a convo. Like, he congratulates her for getting in because Laurel mentioned it at the restaurant, and she's like, I'm not going. That could definitely be, because they're going to have a conversation about that at some point. And I'm sure she's going to ask him about med school and everything. So I can see it going that way. Joshua Resto, Conrad goes to Paris at episode 10. I could see it being later on. I said episode 9, but there's so much that needs to happen before I feel like that is even an idea again, that I could see it being episode 10. I think 9 or 10 will be Paris and time passing to show all the characters growing, so that the end in 11 doesn't feel as rushed as the books. I agree with that. I don't think that they're going to rush the ending in the show as much as they did in the books. For those who didn't read the books, it's like, what, a paragraph? It's literally like the ending is like, boom, this happens, bye. And we're like, what? Like, I was listening to the audiobook, and I legitimately was like, at the end of the book, I was multitasking, doing something else, and then it was like, the book's over, and I was like, wait, what? Like, I like, having read it already too, I was like, oh, it's over. What the heck? It was really rushed. So I don't think it's gonna be as rushed in the show. I think we're getting 12. Oh, I noticed that it said episode 11 and the one below said finale. So for those of you who weren't in here when I was saying before the season started, I made a TikTok because I was on IMDb, and it said that every episode of season 3 was dropping all on the same day. And I was very excited, and I made a TikTok of this, and the TikTok kind of went viral. It has like over 500,000 views, which I feel horrible about, because then people were like, I don't know. And I was like, this is what it says on IMDb. And I even screen recorded and everything, so people saw like I wasn't lying. It said that. And then all of a sudden, the dates changed, and there were no dates. And I was like, oh no. And then there were conflicting interviews of like what people were saying. And then, as we all know, it's not coming out all at once. So the moral of this long-winded story is that IMDb is not always reliable. I don't see it on IMDb. I don't know if I can, yeah, I don't know how to show the screen. IMDb, again, not very reliable. It just shows 11 episodes. Yes, people are too chronically online in this fandom. Yes. I compared it to I was very much so Twilight Saga. I loved Twilight. I loved the books. I loved the movies. And I don't ever remember Edward and Jacob being at each other, Team Edward, Team Jacob being at each other's throats. Like, granted, of course, there's always very intense people in every fandom, but I don't ever remember being this bad. Like, I feel personally attacked sometimes. Like, sometimes it's almost like you're afraid to say what you are. Has anybody felt like that? If they're like talking to somebody, or if they're like in a conversation with somebody, or answering a comment or something, making a comment, you're like, can I say it? I'm a jelly. And then you wait to see, you're like, I'm Conrad. And then you're like, am I gonna get attacked? It's sad, but I like that we have our community here. I will fight the person who called you shallow. I love you, Ashley. I will fight the person who called you shallow, because you couldn't be farther from that. Mwah. I love you so much. Well, that's what I think was funny. Again, it was one person. It was one comment out of so many, and they deleted it, probably out of embarrassment, because my response wasn't argumentative either. I wasn't like, you're shallow. I was like, that's a pathetic comment. Let's not use that immature behavior. I also feel like people who comment things like that don't listen to my whole video, which is fine because I talk a lot. I told you this, Ashley. I talk like for at least a good 20 minutes. The first episode, I think I talked for like 40 minutes. So I talk a lot. So I don't expect everybody to watch every single second. But like, if you watch my videos and watch what I say, yes, I'm Team Jelly, but I'm very level headed. I'm very reasonable. I feel like a lot of the times in the comments, and when people ask me things or something, I am I debate for Jeremiah and defend, because that's the way like the question is presented, if that makes sense. So it's like, if you ask me something about Conrad, or ask me something about like what my opinion is on this or that, I'm not just going to be like, well, Jeremiah this and this. Most of the questions are, well, Jeremiah did this. So then I'm like, okay, I'm going to defend it. But yeah, I just think that people don't watch the whole video and see all of my ideas. I also did, for those who don't know, I did a really quick recap of every episode in season 2 and posted them to my TikTok. And then I collected those together. I think it ended up coming out to be about like an hour of the entire season 2. So you can see some of what I say on YouTube for season 2 if you haven't. Kenna, the book is literally whiplash. It is, right? It's like, boom, it ends it. And you're like, what? I just spent 3 books with these people. I need more than that. Support of YouTube. YouTube is telling me we will demonetize your YouTube channel. Okay. What did I say? You got to be careful with the lingo you use on here. Me being the streamer, if you use certain words or say certain things, YouTube's like, we got you. So sorry, YouTube. I'll behave. I'm wrong. It's 11. Okay. I thought it was 11 because, again, not that it's very reliable. But you know what's funny? It could be because I'm saying other platforms. I know on TT, you're not allowed to say, oh my God, is it mad at my comment about the person who called you shallow? No, it's me. It's me. It's not, YouTube will filter things that they deem to be negative or not for YouTube in the comments. The streamer, if I say something, it might be, I keep saying, if you got that, if certain things, it like flags, and it's like, you can't say that. Don't say that. I think I think I can curse, but only like a certain amount of times. But TT, my friend, streams on there all the time, and you're not allowed to say like Amamon or Bulu, if you get what I'm saying. You're not allowed to, you can't say those words of like other streaming services and other companies, because for some reason, I don't know. I guess because if you're trying to monetize and you're saying those things, those services might not agree with what's being monetized. So it's like a conflict of interest or something. I don't freaking know. It's baloney is what it is. It's baloney. I just looked at the official page on Insta. Okay, Jenny. Meredith, do you feel like we've gotten a lack of narration this season? Wondering if it's an attempt to throw people off on the end game. It's possible. I've been seeing that a lot, and it was interesting because when it was mentioned, I was like, "Oh yeah, we haven't been getting a lot of internal monologue," and I'm curious to see if it comes back after the Conrad episode, because we're obviously going to get a lot of internal monologue, I would believe, in that one, because we got it at the end of episode 4. Um, I think we've definitely gotten a lack of narration, and I don't think it's an attempt to throw people off. Ashley, I think you sent me something that was like, people are relating the lack of narration to Belly losing herself and being with Jeremiah. And I thought to myself, have we ever heard internal monologue with Jeremiah? And so as I was rewatching season 1, we definitely get more in season 1 internally, but it's interesting because it's like, I don't know. We get a lot of her questioning things. We get a lot of her trying to work things out in her head. And I feel like this season, she's not trying to work things out. She's making a definitive decision, whether it's a good one or not. She's making a definitive decision, and she is not necessarily trying to work things out in her head. So I think the internal monologue only comes when she's trying to work things out. So we got it with Laurel. Just wanted to check that. We got it with Laurel when she was arguing with Laurel. And she was saying, like, I wish, or not arguing with her, but she was saying, like, I wish my mother was here. I wish she was here dress shopping with me, blah, 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 blah. She was doing that a little bit. So it seems to be that the internal monologue only comes in when there's some kind of a struggle or something that she's like battling with. Am I allowed to say the B word? I don't know. Am I? Can you guys still hear me all right? Now I'm wondering, am I still on? Bum, 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 bum. I'm gonna check on my boop. Yeah, I'm still on. Boop, boop. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Silly UT. There's a put user in timeout button. That's funny. Put user in timeout. I have been trying to get Jay, my brother. If you don't know him, Viewmaster's Reactions, go check him out. I'm trying to get him in here. Jay is freaking hysterical. Demonetization. We'll see if Jay can come in. And I've been trying to get him to watch the show. And he started watching it with his friend. And I think they got through the first episode. And I walked by and I was like, "You're not paying attention." I was like, "You're not paying attention." He's like, I know. I'm sorry. So he's like, "I'm gonna watch it when I can pay attention. We're not paying attention." And I was like, this show requires attention. And so he still hasn't watched it. So everybody go over to Viewmaster's reactions, comment on Jay's channel, and tell him to watch The Summer I Turned Pretty. I can hear you. Thank you, Ashley. If you weren't in here when I first started, I was telling everybody I set up like a whole thing. I had a nice title. I had the tags. I sent it out on TikTok. I posted it. Like I did all these things. I did it on, and I couldn't get the camera to work. I even tested it before I did that, and it worked fine. And then I set everything up, and then when I went to go live stream it didn't work, and I was like, "What the?" And so I had to do a whole new freaking thing, but now I'm all paranoid that you can't see or hear me. Kenna agreed. I think after spending time with Conrad, it will prompt Belly's inner monologue to start up again, because realistically, she's been in a happy relationship for 4 years, so hasn't questioned much. Yeah. And to be completely honest with you, I kind of worked that theory out as I was just talking to y'all. It didn't necessarily compute to me that way until I was talking through it. I think that's what's going on. I think it's that, like, again, like, I want to be with Jeremiah. I want to get married. I don't want to go to Paris. I want to do this. I want to do that. Like, she is so sure of her decisions, regardless of whether we agree that they're good ones or not. She's so sure of them. And therefore, she's not struggling internally, so it's not so much there. You could also relate that to maybe that conveys she's losing herself a little bit, because it's not necessarily a great thing to not question yourself. You should be able to make decisions and stick with them and be confident in those decisions. But again, it's not a bad thing to question them and make sure that you're doing the right thing. But we're not really necessarily seeing her do too much of that. So I think that after this episode, after episode 5, we're going to get a lot of questions answered in regards to flashbacks that are shown, in regards to things that Conrad is saying he's feeling, in regards to the way that he perceives different reactions and the different things that are being said and shown. I think it's going to clear up a lot of stuff. In the books, she's thinking of Conrad all the time, but since more time has passed in the show, they're giving more validity to her relationship with Jer, which I appreciate because Book Belly is very messy. Yes. Book Belly is very messy. Show Belly is too, but in a different way. Yeah. Yeah, they're definitely Book Belly is very messy. I honestly think all of them are in the book. That's why I really liked the show, and I like that I watched the show first and then read the books and got to compare like that. They definitely changed for the better a lot of things in the show, and I think that that's why season 3 feels kind of different and off, because now I feel like they're trying to like seesaw back and forth. um, I wish that we got to see a little bit more of Jeremiah and Belly's relationship, because I felt like, well, I don't feel like it happened as so we got them in a relationship. The season opened. They moved into college. The time jump. We had a fight. And now all of this stuff's happening. So it's like we didn't really get to see any of the good things or anything that happened during the relationship. Maybe we'll get some of it in flashbacks. I don't know. Oh, for sure. When I read book 3 the first time, I was like, why is everyone insufferable? It's funny you say that because I don't know if you've seen me say in past reactions, I hated book 3. I like book 3 was a struggle for me to get through. And that could be because I'm Team Jelly. And so seeing what happened, I was like, whoa, 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 what is happening? Like, what is going on? And I don't like this. Oh my gosh, what's going on? 3. Did not care for book 2. Did I say that right? No. I liked book 1. Did not really care for book 2. And then book 3, I was like, but then I think it was about a year ago that I read them. Then I went back and I listened to the audiobook of book 3. And I liked it a little more than I did the first time. I don't know if that's because I got to sit with everything and kind of process it and get a feel for it. And I don't know, I just, for some reason, I liked it better. My problem with book 2 was that I think the show spoiled me because the show was so different. So when I read book 2, I was like, where's the whole thing with Aunt Julia? Where's Sky? What's going on? Like, Cam Cameron's still not here. So I was like, it was so different that I was just like, it made me feel like not much happened in book 2. Excuse me. It made me feel like not much happened in book 2 because so much happened in season 2. And book 2 kind of felt like a repeat of book 1 with some like a few little different things sprinkled in. But maybe I need to revisit it. I would like to. I have all the audiobooks, so maybe I'll listen to book 1 and 2 before the season ends. But then I'm gonna be all over the place. I'm gonna be like, book Jeremiah did this, show Conrad did that. Belly's just all over the place. I'm Team Conrad, and I still give it 1 star the first time I read it. Ha 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 for book 3. But listening to the audiobook with the narration, I was like, this isn't the worst. Maybe that's a good point because Lola narrates. So maybe it was like it's comforting. You're just like, oh, that's our Belly. That's our Belly. And even though she's super duper messy in book 3, that's like, no, it's our girl. It's Belly. It's our Belly. So it's a little more comforting. Meredith, I personally hope there will be a large time period where Belly is single post wedding. I would love to see that. I'm not sure if we're going to get it. I feel like based off of the first 4 episodes that we got, again, like every idea or assumption that I had for the way that something was going to go, I was so surprised. So I don't know what they're going to do, but I will tell you what I hope is that, yes, I would like to see that too. I think that we have had years and years and years of Belly either being in a relationship. Well, I guess we haven't. We had years of it. We just didn't see it. We had so much of like Belly crushing on Conrad, crushing on Cam, crushing on Jeremiah, being in a relationship with Conrad, crushing on Jeremiah, being in a relationship with Jeremiah. We've never seen her single. Even in the first season. I mean, she meets Cam in the second episode? Is it? It might even be the first. Because she meets him at the party. So yeah, I think that is the first episode. And And then it's like, she does her thing with Cam, but we've never seen her just be Belly and just exist. So it would be nice. I would like that if we saw her be single, especially in Paris. Especially in Paris. Could you imagine? So I have never been out of the country aside from going to Canada when I was like 12. We went to Niagara Falls, but I've never been out of the country aside from that. I would lose it if we went to Paris. I'm bringing all y'all with me. I would be ecstatic going to Paris, and I would be terrified if I was by myself, but it would also be fun and thrilling at the same time. I'm going to turn down the humidifier. I'm like going into a rainforest here. It still bothers me how quickly her and Jeremiah started dating after her and Conrad's breakup. And I feel like it would be refreshing for her to actually figure herself/her wants out on her own. I'll be your translator. I loved it there. Oh yeah, you went with I can't remember the girl's name that we met in Asbury. Michelle? Mish. You call her Mish? Didn't you go with her? Yeah. Let's go, Ash. We're gonna plan a Paris trip. So yeah, that Meredith kind of is a little frustrating too, especially because as much as I loved it, I'm gonna be honest, I loved the Michelle. Yeah, I loved the finale of season 2, even though it was heartbreaking. Again, like Team Jelly, watching Conrad cry on the side of the building broke my heart. That was and the way he just like slumped down was so heartbreaking. Loved season 2's finale. But it was messy because we have the Conrad Jeremiah conversation of Jeremiah being like, you got to have this conversation. You two need to figure this out. I can't move forward if you don't. I want you both to be happy. You have Conrad telling Belly that he does still care for her and want to be with her when they're in bed. And then you have the next morning her kissing Jeremiah and being like, we talked, when it's like, kind of not really, you did, but not really. And then you have Conrad being like, yeah, no, I take it all back. I didn't mean anything that I said. And then you have Belly saying, I evict you from my heart. No, you didn't. No, you did not. And if you did not post the eviction notice because he is still there. He is very much still there. So I think that it was very messy in regards to that. I was actually talking about this in the comments of my last video with somebody where they were saying that, what does everybody think? They think that Conrad saw Belly kiss Jeremiah, which is why when they got back in the room, he said, I that's not what I said last night is not true. I don't feel like that. He took it back because she saw him kiss Jeremiah, which I still don't think, if that's the case, I still think he should have stood his ground and been like, yeah, that's how I feel. But they thought that that is what happened, which is why Conrad took it back. My opinion is, again, even if he saw it, he shouldn't have taken it back. And the person said, well, if he didn't take it back, Belly had already chosen Jeremiah at that point. She wouldn't have gone back on that. And I said, our girl would have in a heartbeat. And again, Team Jelly. I wouldn't want her to, but logically speaking, I don't even know if I could say DAMN. You well know that if Conrad said, Everything I said last night, I am sticking to it. I still feel that way. I want to be with you. I am in love with you. I think she would have in a heartbeat. But let me know what you think. Maybe I'm wrong. I think she would have. And that's what makes me feel frustrated with that situation and feel like it was messy, Meredith, was that I think she only chose Jeremiah because she knew that Conrad was probably going to take back what he said, which is not a reason to get into a relationship with someone. And it reminds me of what Jeremiah says to her at the beginning of season 2, which was like, "Oh, I get it. I'm just a placeholder for while you figure out your stuff with Conrad." Like we had something going, Conrad kissed you, now all of a sudden you want to be with him. Like I was just keeping the seat warm. That's what it felt like for me at the end of season 2, where I was like, I feel like that's what's happening again. He said his feelings and now she's probably assuming he's going to take it back. And so she kissed Jar, and then sure enough, he took it back. And she's like, okay, I have my safe bet with Jar, which again, not a reason you should get into a relationship with someone. Joshua Resto, I have the master list leak if you want to see it. That's a thing? A master list leak of like the episodes and what they're called? Is there a leak? Joshua, tell me more. Tell me more. I'm weird with things like that. Like, so I don't want to be spoiled on major things. No joke. I don't want to be spoiled on major things, but like with this, I feel like I can't be spoiled. I read all the books. I know or presume to know about what's going to happen. And since we're not getting teasers or trailers for episodes, like sometimes when I do reactions for Patreon requests, I always ask the person, do you want me to watch the trailer if it's a movie or even a show? Do you want me to watch the trailer or should I just dive right into it? And majority of people say don't watch the trailer because there can be really spoilery things. But like when it comes to stuff like this, like yeah, if you have that at your disposal, Joshua, send it over. Send it in the chat. Copy and paste it. Drop it. Actually, maybe no, I wouldn't get blocked for that, right? We'll find out. They got to show growth and time passing before she flips back for sure for it to feel satisfying as Endgame. Yes. Let me take a sip. Yes. A lot of people ask me, since you're Team Jelly, are you going to be okay with Conrad and Belly getting together? And my answer is yes, as long as they do it right. If we get engagement ends, she runs into Conrad's arms, I'm not going to be happy. I'm going to be very frustrated. I need them to do it right. I need them to understand what is happening. I need them to talk about things. I need them to work things out. I need it to make sense for it to feel right. And I hope that's what happens. I have faith that that's what's going to happen. Regardless if he saw or not, Conrad had to remove himself from the equation for the sake of Jared's happiness and because of his promise to Susanna. I agree that that is what his intentions were for doing that and making that choice. The issue that I have with it is that Conrad tends, and he does this all throughout season 1 and 2. Conrad tends to make decisions for people that he thinks is the right decision. And I believe he truly believes that he is doing it to protect them. Like, I know that this is going to hurt them, so I'm going to do this. Belly actually calls him out on this in season 2, episode 3? Whatever episode it is, where they meet him at the house, where they're trying to look for him, and then they're like, "Oh, he's at Cousins." They go to Cousins, and, okay, so maybe it's episode 3. They go to Cousins, and he's like, "What is she doing here?" And then the episode ends, and then the next one starts, and Jer's upset that Conrad didn't tell him about the house being sold. And he's like, "I wanna help," or whatever, and then Belly kinda yells at Conrad a little, not yells, but, like, says to Conrad, if Jeremiah wants to help, that's his choice to make, and you can't make that decision for him." Which shows, to a certain extent, how well Belly knows Conrad, how well he even references in season 1, like, "What do you memorize everything that I say?" when she's swimming in the pool, and, she's talking about, like, him. He's like, "What do you memorize everything that I say?" And then in season 2, she's like, "You can't make that decision for him." More or less, I feel saying, like, you do this all the time. You think that you're doing right by the person by making this decision for them because you think you're protecting them. But in reality, you need to let people decide things for themselves. And so I think that's my issue with that choice. He chose to say to Belly that what he said the night before wasn't true, and he takes it back because he's trying to protect Jer, and he knows that Jer really cares about Belly. But my frustration lies in Jeremiah had that conversation with him prior, where he was like, this is my act of kindness to you, where it's like, I love both of you, and I want both, and he says, I want both of you to be happy. So if there is something there, if you're trying to do right by me and make a choice that benefits me, then what I want you to do is have that conversation, have that real conversation with Belly and figure out your stuff. And then if I can proceed with the relationship, I will. And I feel like Conrad took that away from him. Like, it's instead of listening to Jer, like, it's like he listened to him at first. He took that into consideration. He listened to it at first. That's why he said what he said to Belly that night. But then the next day, it's like he couldn't help it. Conrad is who he is. Like, he couldn't help it. He was like, I can't do it. I can't do it. I have to step back. I have to step back because I know it's going to hurt Jer. And he stepped back. So it's like, again, I believe that Conrad makes these choices with good intentions, but that doesn't mean that they are the right choice. Like, sometimes you kind of got to make the hard choices to have the right thing happen. If we see Belly's inner monologue and doubts start creeping in as she spends more time with Conrad, it's just going to support the fact that had he not left, she and Jer probably wouldn't have lasted as long. I don't think her and Jer would have happened. Well, I guess they would have happened because they kind of left the motel as a couple, I would say, right? They left the motel as a couple. So I agree with that then. Yeah, because if they left the motel as a couple and Conrad didn't leave, he would still be present. He would still be getting her attention. Her mind would still be wandering, and yeah, they probably wouldn't have lasted as long as they have. Again, I try to describe Jelly's relationship as like they're in a bubble. Not only are they both dreamers, are they both the type of people that like creating this like la la land happy place, but they're in a bubble of college that's like just the campus and the people around them and everything in that bubble. So yeah, if Conrad didn't leave, then I think that definitely would have had a big influence on their relationship. The master list leaks is a culmination of all the info people have from being on slash, oh, really? I've never heard of this. Interesting. The master list leaks is a culmination of all the info people have from being on or around set and like what's happening in the episodes. I've not heard of this. How have I not come across this? That's why I have all of you. You're so amazing. Yeah. I sent it in the comments. Oh no, you know what, Joshua? I think because YT can be a pain in the booty. I hope I can say that. I think it blocked your comment. What's the what am I trying to say? If it's a website, I couldn't think of website. If it's a website and you send it in the comments, it might block the comment because I don't see it. I don't know why they do that. I guess maybe to avoid spam or viruses or something. I don't know. But it didn't send. You can can you email it to me? If you can email it to me. My email is Puma, Puma. That was my old kitty. 4107, that was his birthday, at gmail.com. Are they gonna block that? Do you see that? Meredith, do you like the change from a 2-year jump to a 4-year one? I think in a lot of ways it makes sense, but being a team Conrad, it makes me feel worse for Jer knowing the end. They dated for 4 years. Yeah, at first, I was like, oh, you'll see in my reaction if you watch in the first episode, I was like, 4 years. I wasn't like that in the books. And I did like it because it gave them more time together. It gave them more time to develop that relationship. It made them older. So even though they're still super young to get engaged, there's at least in their early 20s and have dated for a decent amount of time. So it did bring a little more sense to that situation. So at first I did like it. But then seeing how everything happened, I was like, what was the point? I think that's like, and then I think that applies to everybody. Like, again, I have to keep reminding myself that it's a 4-year time jump because I don't think anybody has changed at all aside from Steven having a big boy job now, which we knew he was going to get because he graduated valedictorian. I don't think anybody really changed. So my opinion is like if you're going to have a 4-year time jump in an effort to I assume show that like well they're a little more mature than they were in the books. They're a little more adult than they were in the books. So it makes a little more sense. And because the relationship is a little longer, it makes a little more sense. But to then have them act so immature and not show us any of the relationship or any growth or anything like that, then like what was the point? What was the point? Like if the point of the 4 years was to utilize that in a way of showing growth and maturity, don't then follow it up with 10 times more immaturity than was shown in the books. It was a weird flip for me. It was a weird flip for me. Like, it was less time in the books and less immature, and so now it's more time in the show, but more maturity. So it's like the 2 cancel each other out, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I thought it was kinda silly. I no. My final thought, no. I don't like it. Oh, for sure, Conrad thinks he's making the right move, but inadvertently is doing more harm in the process. I'm excited to get the flashback to the motel. Ooh, do you think we're going to? I didn't even consider that. To get the flashback to the motel. I'm not kidding, Kenna. I didn't even consider that. I thought we could. That would make sense because technically that's like where we last left Conrad. Like we've seen him in where he is now and stuff, but emotionally, that's where we last left Conrad that deeply emotionally. That would be I would love to see that. I would love to see that. I sent it in the comments. True, Kenna, but there are some new info if you want to see it. So it keeps getting updated, Joshua? Is that like people keep adding to it? Is the thing about Cameron saying that Christopher Briney was in Paris on there? Were you in here when I was saying that? That I saw a TikTok, I saw a TT of Cameron saying that he met up with Chris in Paris when he was in Paris and Chris was in Paris. Jenny, do we think Belly will find out that Jer knew how Conrad felt about Belly and still pursued her? That Jer knew how Conrad felt about. I need you to elaborate a little bit. Do we think Belly will find out that Jer knew how Conrad felt about Belly and still pursue? Do you mean like in the first season? I'm sorry if you could hear me slurping. Do you mean like in the first season? Because I'll let you answer. I'll let you answer first. Just get clarification. Got it. Oh, I didn't check. Yeah, something about that is there. I sent it to your email. Thank you, Joshua. He has a key line in the book, if I'm remembering correctly, where Conrad says the motel was the only time he's lied to Belly. Interesting. I could agree with that. I mean, to be completely honest with you, I'm thinking back in the show. I can agree with that because while I still don't, and again, in regards to the show, while I still don't love the way that Conrad spoke to and treated Belly in season 1, nothing he said was necessarily a lie. The biggest one that stands out for me is she calls him out on the fact that they almost kissed. And he's like, I don't remember. And she's like, you said that you remember everything when you're. And then he breaks down and he's like, you know that I think about you. He says, you know that I think about you and I just can't. I just can't. So that's not a lie. It's not what she wants to hear. But it's not a lie. When Jarrett and Conrad talked in the motel. Okay. Do you think Belly will find out that Jarrett knew how Conrad felt about Belly and still pursued her when Jarrett and Conrad talked in the motel? That's interesting. I don't know how to answer that. I don't think it will be touched on. I don't think it'll come up because I feel like at the point they were at the motel, I think everybody was kind of under the assumption, maybe I'm giving them too much credit, all three of them. I feel like everybody, and Conrad said it physically hurts him to not tell her he loves, and Jared still pursued her anyway. I think that at that point, everybody was mutually at like an understanding of what was happening. Like, I don't think it was a surprise, or I don't think it would have been a surprise for, how do I say this? I think it was very obvious that Jer knew that Conrad had feelings for Belly, and that I think it was obvious that Conrad knew Jer had feelings for Belly because they had talked about it so many times. And I don't think that Belly was ignorant to the situation either, because she had dated Conrad and she was feeling things for Jeremiah in front of Conrad. So I don't necessarily think it's going to come up, because if you maybe are you talking about, like, do I think that Belly is going to find out about the conversation that Jeremiah had with Conrad? I don't think it would matter, if that's the question. I don't think it would matter. Because everybody was, I think, aware of the feelings that were involved between the three of them. It was getting to admit those feelings that was the issue. And I don't fault Jer. So, like, Jer knowing Conrad had feelings for Belly and pursuing her anyway, I don't perceive that as being a bad thing, because the whole point of the conversation between Jeremiah and Conrad was Jeremiah saying, figure your stuff out. Figure your stuff out. And I think he basically, I can't remember word for word exactly how the conversation went, but Jeremiah was basically saying, like, I know that you're in love with her. I know that you have these feelings, and I know that she has feelings for you. So that was the whole point. You need to have that conversation. Like, I have feelings, and they even yelled at each other. They had that, like, banter with the Sour Patch Kids and the Swedish Fish. That whole thing where he's like, I know the candy that she likes. And, so they were already kind of, like, rivaling and, like, arguing passive aggressively, if you will, previously to that conversation. The final conversation was Jeremiah saying to Conrad, figure it out. I know that you like her. You know that I like her. I'm going to move forward if you're not going to. But I need you to figure it out, because if you want to move forward, I think he was more or less admitting that he knew that if Conrad said, I love you, Belly would have picked him. That's what I got from the conversation. That's what I got, is that Jeremiah was more or less saying, have the conversation and be honest and figure it out, because she's going to pick you. But if you don't, then I'm going to move forward and proceed with that relationship, because I have strong feelings for her. And it didn't happen. And Conrad said, oh yeah, I read that. Did you get the email my YouTube is acting up? Let me check. I feel like my email's been acting up. Like, sometimes I'll go to my inbox and I don't get things, but then I'll go to all mail and it's there, or vice versa. I don't see it. It could be in spam, junk. Load phone, let's go. Oh, there it is. Yep, it's in junk. This isn't junk. How dare you, phone? Okay, so Joshua, this better be real. Let's see. Yeah, thank you. I got it. I wasn't sure if maybe she found out and they called off the wedding because they never figured their ish out. I wasn't sure if maybe she found out and they called off their wedding because I don't think that's I wasn't sure if maybe she found out and they called off the wedding because they never figured ish out. I think that's going to be the reason, because they never figured their stuff out. But I don't think it's going to necessarily be specifically because of how things went down at the motel. Because I think that's like the history of them is going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And I think that's why again, Jer was like, figure it out, because you keep going back and forth and back and forth. And if you don't say it now, she's gonna go be with somebody else. And I don't want to see that because I like her. So if it's not you, it's gonna be me. I think it's gonna be me. Um, intrusive thoughts. I think that was what it really was. Like, if you don't say anything, she's going to go off, she's going to go to college, she's going to meet somebody, like, and I can't watch that happen because I'm in love with her too. So I'd rather you two be happy and figure it out, and I'll get over the heartbreak if I can, but I'm not going to watch it happen with somebody else. But I do agree that I think that's gonna be the ultimate demise of them, is that Conrad and Belly never figured it out. They never really gave it another chance, and then it always just lingered in the back of their minds. Spoiler alert, I never read the books. Oh, okay. 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 Noted. Okay, then the way that you perceive things, Jenny, is very on point. I'll say that. Then you are keeping up very well. Priya, my song prediction is probably I Love You, I'm Sorry, and maybe a Yearning Taylor song, maybe. Yeah, I can see that. Especially because I think that as many sweet moments we're going to get, we're definitely going to get a little heartbreak in there too. So I Love You, I'm Sorry. You were the best, but you were the worst. As sick as it sounds, I loved you first. Personally, I need I Love You, I'm Sorry since it's on Conrad's playlist. Is it? I don't remember it being on there. Makes sense. I loved you first. By the summer, I turned pretty on Amazon Music. I skimmed them when it was the red and golden, if I'm not mistaken, the red playlist and the golden playlist. I remember skimming them. Yeah. And because I remember having a conversation with my friends, was like, I was like, oh my gosh, we might get Taylor music, or we're not might, we're gonna get Taylor music that we haven't heard in the show before, obviously new songs. What do you think we're going to get? And she was like, they showed us what we're going to get. And I was like, no, all the songs that were on there that were Taylor, at least, were songs that we got in previous episodes. And she was like, I don't think so. And I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure. I don't remember seeing any new Taylor songs that we didn't have in previous maybe you could tell me, Priya. I don't remember seeing any Taylor songs on those playlists where I was like, oh my God, we didn't get that. But I didn't really listen to them fully. I just skimmed it. I've been envisioning the bridge of I Love You, I'm Sorry playing after a certain major event that occurs on the beach. Okay. What do you all think about not playing? Ashley, I don't know if you're still in here because I remember, even though it was like a year ago, I remember you texting me, not playing Snow on the Beach when it snowed on the beach. Like, what? But I do have to say, being a folklore girly, Invisible String is one of my favorite songs of all time. And by far, like, top 3 on folklore for me. I love Invisible String. And I think it played to those scenes very beautifully. But like, it was like almost a little crazy that you didn't play Snow on the Beach when there was snow on the beach. I don't see any new Taylor songs either. Yeah, I didn't think so. On my way to get snacks for this new episode. Abby, will you be getting Swedish Fish or Sour Patch Kids? Honestly, I like both. I really do. I know a lot of people are like, Swedish Fish tastes like candles. First of all, what are you doing eating candles? But I get the lack of appeal towards Swedish Fish. I like them though. But I do like Sour Patch Kids. I have to eat them slowly though, because then it's too much sour. And I'm like, ah. I almost forgot. What snacks are you getting, Abby? I'm a popcorn person. I love popcorn. I almost forgot about that. I'm a yeah. No snow on the beach. I'm a folklore girly through and through. Yes, I freaking love folklore. I was so sad that there was not a folklore anniversary drop. We got we've been fed. We got the Speak Now, or not Speak Now. We got the Fearless cardigan. We got the summer collection. We got the Speak Now anniversary drop. And I know that those are a little iffy for some people. I think that some of them could have been better. I absolutely, going off topic from the summer I turned pretty, I absolutely love the Fearless cardigan. Everyone's like, that's not the color scheme. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Go look back. OG Fearless. Yes, it is. Love the Fearless cardigan. Like the summer drop. It was different. Definitely bought stuff. Liked the Speak Now drop. Little pricey. But I did. I got the jacket. I got the backpack. I got the necklace. Regretting I didn't get the shirt. The shirt was really cute. I hated it at first. And then I saw it in a video and I was like, that is really cute. But I was really upset that we didn't get a folklore anniversary drop. I thought we were going to. It was really sad. I don't have any folklore stuff. That's crazy. I have so much Taylor merch. So much. I have something. What do I have? I can't remember. I think I have one thing. Not enough. That's for sure. And I also need This Is Me Trying. I love that song. I need the new thumbnail for the new episode, not gonna lie. I hope either This Love, oh, This Love Is Good, or Red Taylor's version for the episode 11 finale. I loved the mashup of what they did in the trailer. Daylight and Red sounded so good together. And then like the emphasis on Red, loving hymns and flashbacks, ba 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 ba, and echoes, ba 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 ba. Oh, I'm like getting chills and goosebumps thinking about it. It was so perfectly done. I was like, oh. I liked Snow on the Beach, calling back to the last time they had been on the beach together and highlighting the contrast between how happy they were then and the emotions of I thought you knew. I thought you knew. How is she supposed to know, Conrad? You didn't tell her. Christopher Briney is fantastic actor. And when he, like, I don't even know what to call it. Like, he doesn't scream it. Like, he almost, like, I don't want to say whine because I feel like that has a negative context. I thought you knew. I was like, ah, like the emotion in that delivery. I thought you knew. It's like he really did think that. Yes, me watching every Conrad, This Is Me Trying edit, I find. He's so folklore coded. Yes, oh my god, he's so TTPD coded too. He's so torture poet. Yeah, coded. Yearning after her. Oh my god. I'm heading out. Gotta wake up at 3 a.m. See this episode. Good luck, people. Oh my god, Joshua, I'm so sorry I didn't look into any of the things that you sent me. I keep getting distracted, but thank you so much. First of all, thank you for being here. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for this. I didn't even know this existed. So excited. Oh, there's pictures. Ooh, these are like sneaky sneaks pictures. Set up at the Conklin house allegedly for Belly and Conrad's Valentine's Day flashback. Conrad's car is seen at the front of the house and fake snow set up on the front lawn. Wow. Ooh, there's art edit sources and everything. Dang. Interesting. Oh, and they give writers for each episode. That's cool. That's pretty cool. Thank you so much for this, Joshua. Thank you. Young Belly, Conrad, and Jeremiah. The unicorn scene. That's going to be cute. Oh, that's good casting, too. Little babies. All right, yeah, I'm going to look at that later so I can focus on y'all. He emailed it to me. I love the cast so much and I'm going to miss them so much. I know. I'm going to wait until 10 a.m. to watch the episode. Chris is so good. I'm excited for the rest of his acting career. So I don't know if you know, he's in, I forget what it's called, but he's in a play that's off Broadway that's doing really well apparently and getting really, really good reviews. And I think he's really good for Broadway, even though I've never seen him. The Ashley, my friend Ashley pointed this out. The way that his facial expressions convey so much energy, I think he'd be perfect for live performances. So it doesn't surprise me it's getting really good reviews. But he's definitely going places. Wait, what? That's so cool. Wait, what? Where is it? I need to watch that. LOL. What did I do? I need to watch the play, or I need to watch what I was looking at. The master list, season 3 leaks master list. Joshua emailed it to me. That's what I was reading before. It's decently long, but it's not that long. You got a friend of Belly's in Paris, a name, potential and confirmed scene / plot leaks. So it's interesting because you could see that some of it did come true. So like without spoilers, Stephen and Jeremiah are called Nepo babies. That happened. Taylor yells at Jeremiah on 2 separate occasions to do with his cheating on Belly and the engagement. That happened. Taylor and Lacey are sorority sisters. That happened. Belly is not in the sorority. So yeah, things that were leaked definitely were accurate. And I would assume their code name, Belly's code name is June. And Conrad's is Nick. That's funny. So yes, some of the things that are on there that I saw were accurate. And I would assume that they weren't going to put things on there unless they were fairly confident. I mean, granted, it says spoiler leaks, so you're not going to be 100% sure, but I would feel like they wouldn't put it unless they were like truly confident. I'm embarrassed to admit I did in fact watch an hour and 45-minute YouTube video of Chris's college play Pig Farm that he mentioned in an interview, and I need him in more comedic roles ASAP. Kenna, do not be embarrassed. I have watched grainy, horrible, splotchy videos of a plethora of musicals and plays that I will either A, never be able to afford to see, or B, they're just not on anymore. They're just not a thing. I watch slam tutorials. I don't know if I could say that. All the time. And there's no shame in that. There's no shame in that. In fact, you just gave me an idea of what I can do later tonight. Because now I'm kind of curious. I'm assuming it was good. Yes, he's in Deliria. Yeah. Delaria, maybe Delaria. I'm bummed I wasn't able to go to New York to see it. I think it's still going on, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm sure tickets are crazy expensive. I'm sure it's really crazy, crazy expensive. Some of these prices are absolutely insane. It's really sad because I love musicals and I try to go as much as I can when I can afford it. If tickets are reasonable, rush tickets, whatever they may be. Broadway week. I don't know if you know what that is. I'm in New Jersey, so luckily I am close enough to where it is accessible to me, but it is still expensive getting in there and then either taking the train or parking or whatever it may be. Some of these tickets are insane. I wanted to see I forget what it was called, but it was Keanu Reeves and the guy that he was in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure with. I wish I knew the actor's name. I feel horrible not knowing it, but Bill and Ted, they're in a play together. And I was like, oh, first of all, Keanu Reeves, a gem of a human being. I was like, that's so cool to see the two of them together. They were like $300 to $500 a ticket. And then I'm like, all right, how much is nosebleeds gonna cost? They were still like $200 for nosebleeds. And I was like, that's absurd. Oh, am I allowed to say the B word? There's so many B words I don't know if I could say. That's crazy. I want to meet him sometime. So Priya, he does stage door, which I love. I totally understand why some people choose not to do stage doors. I get it. It can be very overwhelming. You also, as an actor, or if you're in a musical, a singer, you want to reserve your voice for the performances. So totally get why some people don't do it. But if you don't know what stage door is, after the show, there is a stage door outside of the venue that leads right to the stage and behind the scenes, and they will tend to rope off an area, and then that person or people from the show will come out and sometimes sign autographs or take pictures or literally just be like, hey, and do a little wave or something. He does stage door, and there's tons of videos on TT. I can't remember not to say that. Where he's interacting with fans, and I think that's really cool. And I love that stars like that do that. Milo Manheim is another one that does it for Little Shop. He is amazing. He is so sweet with the people that he meets. But he's a big stage door. My Zombies 4 reaction is on YouTube and Patreon. Go check it out if you like Milo. But yeah, he's really, really cool. I like him. And I like that he interacts with fans in the way he does. Also, I need the next episode now. Facts. Joshua, I have returned. Joshua, go to sleep. Go to sleep. Oh, I lost my place. Wait. Yes, he's in Deliria. That's crazy. I want to meet him sometime. That's so funny. It closes on the 8th. Does it? Oh no. It closes on the 8th. It's really sad that some of these musicals and some of these plays do not get nearly enough stage time as they deserve. Beetlejuice was one of them where like that was very popular. Very, very popular, but it was so expensive to put on the performance that it just like they couldn't keep it up. I heard that they're supposed to be bringing that back. But yeah, it stinks that it's such a limited run with certain ones, which is why we need to have more pro shots. Say it with me, everyone. We need to have more pro shots. I talk to my friend Shay about this all the time. More pro shots for the people that can't afford to go or miss them. Oh, that's sad. I have returned. I'm no stranger to a slimed trail. Yes, Kenna. I love them. Some of them are really good too. I saw one for 6. It was really good. Some of them are amazing. I wanted to watch the original production of Dear Evan Hansen with Ben Platt. And that one was not very good. I mean, the production was amazing. He was great. The recording wasn't very good, but I still watched the whole thing more than once. I need the next episode now. So one thing that upset me about this season, one thing, we went over a bunch of things, but another thing that upset me about this season was that I hate the 3 a.m. drops. What is up with that? I didn't watch when they dropped for season 1. They had already dropped when I started season 1. I watched a few months after, if I'm not mistaken. But I was there for season 2. And I'm in New Jersey, EST time. They were 7 p.m. I remember 7, maybe 8. I don't think it was 9, but if it was not later than 9. It was Thursday night. I remember because I thought as a reactor, this is phenomenal. Because not only am I happy as a viewer to watch the episode at a decent time, but I then get the night to edit it out and throw it out there on YG. Dobbie, come say hi. Oh, brat. And it made my life a little easier. Now I'm like Joshua, where I want to go. I want to wake up at 3 a.m., but I'm so tired. I'm not a morning person. Not a morning person. I'm so tired. And I did that for episodes 1 and 2, and I was so tired. And I felt like I couldn't focus as well as I wanted to. And so then I was like, I'm not going to do that because I want to be able to focus and really enjoy it, especially because it's the last season. So Robbie gets up at 4:30. I get up at 5. He usually leaves by 5:30. I'm in the chair watching by 6 a.m. So my reaction will be posted on Patreon at 7 a.m. My editing takes so long. Editing takes an insane amount of time. Me especially, because I scrutinize everything so much. Like I could just run through it and cut things out, but I really try to put in as much as I can, and then I don't shut up at the end of it. So that's a whole other thing. But yeah, my edit, I mean, hopefully it'll be out by noon, but I've been getting them out by like 4, I think, which I'm gonna try. But with this one coming, man, I think I'm gonna probably take my time editing like I usually do. You're my next door neighbor. I'm from New York City. New York City. So Joshua, you've hit up a stage door or two then. Am I right? Do you know about rush tickets? You probably do, being in New York. Also, how did you get the BTS leak pics? Joshua sent them to me. I have a hookup. Um, there are some I would imagine if you so it's in a Google document, but I would imagine if you go on Reddit, because I can't say certain words because of YouTube. Reddit, we'll say. Um and type in the summer I turned pretty master leaks. It'll probably come up because there's some Reddit links on here. So yeah, I could probably find them on there. Pig Farm was a fever dream of a play, but Chris committed to the bit with the accent he used, and his physical comedy was so good. Oh, I'm sure. I actually don't know what that is. Pig Farm? I don't know. I know Animal Farm, but I don't know Pig Farm. Have you watched School Spirits? Yes, I have, Kenna. Milo is so good in it. He is. He is so, so good in it. I wish that he would do another TV show. I loved him in School Spirit. I love him in School Spirits because we're getting a season 3. I don't know if you know that. I reacted to season 2. It was a Patreon request. All the episodes are on my Patreon. I did not react to season 1. I watched that, I think, before I was even reacting to stuff. And I honestly think that I liked season 2 better than season 1, which is a rare occurrence. I typically don't feel that way. Like, I don't usually not like season 2s, but I don't usually like them better, and I think I liked season 2 better. But Milo will always be Zed in my heart. Exceptional Zed, if you will. I believe the spoiler doc you were sent is on Reddit, Rose. Thank you. Yeah, oh god, I just said the R word. We'll see what happens. Oh, they're weird about certain sites that I say, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, I think it would be too, because there are definitely links from there on that. So same, I feel obligated to wake up at 3 a.m. because I don't want to be spoiled and then I have to go to my corporate job like I'm not sleep deprived. I know. So there was this whole theory. You're right, Rose. I found it there. Yeah. So it's on there. There was this theory, like, I'm not claiming to not be a crazy Swiftie. I am. But there was a crazy Swiftie theory where I was like, but it hasn't happened yet, where the reason, because we have to make everything complicated, right? The reason that the episodes are dropping at 3 a.m. as opposed to 7, 8, 9, whatever it was, p.m. was because Taylor is going to allow them to use a TS12 song. I'll tell you what I want, which is 100% yes, I want that. What I believe is that probably is not going to be that. I wouldn't be surprised if it did happen, but I don't think it's going to happen. But that was the whole thing. Whereas, like, well, if Taylor drops an album at midnight and then the episode happens at 3 a.m., it could incorporate one of her new songs in the episode. I think they're just trying to torture all of us. I don't know why they want to torture us, but I think they're just trying to torture all of us. I feel like their ratings would probably be better if they didn't drop it at 3 a.m. because obviously more people would watch it if it dropped at a decent time. But like 3 a.m. That's rough. It's really rough. I'm a tired girl. I'm sleep. I appreciate my sleep. I've been sitting with this in front of me the whole time. So, for those of you who don't know, I have been doing giveaways. If you haven't watched my reactions, one, go watch them. And two, you can watch me on 2x speed. I don't mind. I watch everything on 2x speed. Um, I have been doing giveaways for all the episodes. And so, what I'm going to do for tomorrow's episode is this is going to be the next giveaway. For episode 5, I am going to do The Summer I Turned Pretty book. For episode 6, I'm going to do It's Not Summer Without You. And for episode 7, I'm going to do We'll Always Have Summer. So yeah, if you want to be entered in the giveaway, I ask that you like, subscribe. I didn't say that once. I should have said that when there was 25 people in here before. Please subscribe to me if you have not. And yeah, if you want to be entered in the giveaway, I ask that you like, subscribe, share the video, comment, and in your comments, put a heart hand emoji. Heart hands emoji in the comments. And then I randomly pick a winner and you can win one of the books. Yep. That's how that works. What do y'all think? Do you favor the books over the show, or do you favor the show over the books? I definitely favor the show over the books. Season 3 belongs in its own realm. I believe that season 3 belongs in its own realm. No, I do love it. I do love season 3. It's a lot. It's a lot. Now I have when do I not have Taylor songs stuck in my head? I was gonna say now I'm singing Guilty as Sing. Guilty as Sing. Guilty as Sing is stuck in my head. What if he's written mine on my upper thigh, only in my mind? Dobbie. Dobbie, you are half of this channel. And you are being quite lazy. You need to incorporate yourself more. Dobbie will sit, if you watch my reaction, so she'll sit right there in her little hammock. But she will get camera shy sometimes. And she will run, and in the closet, I have a little bed. I actually have 2 beds. She'll go and sit on those beds. She'll go and sit in the closet, even though she has this cat tree and this hammock and this bed and like the bed in general, and then a bed over here and a bed over here and another cat tree. It's a little absurd how much she has, to be honest, but she deserves it. She deserves it. I prefer the show for sure. All the characters have more depth. I agree. And I obviously think that's easier to do in the show and convey in the show. I understand that, but that's what I really like about the show is the way that they went into so many different people. Again, they went into Taylor, they went into Steven, 2 characters who barely had any. I think, what did Steven have, like a line in the books, in the 3 of them total? Taylor's more so incorporated in the third book, but like barely again. I feel like Laurel is such a complex character. They really went into her. All of the flashbacks of Susanna and her. Oh my gosh. Loved all the flashbacks. Yeah, I really, really liked. What do you guys think about Cleveland? If you watch my reactions, that shouldn't be a surprising question. What do y'all think about Cleveland? What happened to Cleveland? He was so sweet, and him and Laurel were so cute, and he helped Conrad so much, and he was so kind and so thoughtful. And he just disappeared. He's just gone. Not saying I don't like John. I like John. John's a sweetheart. But where's Cleveland? I wanted him to take the role that Ernie plays in the books this season. I wanted him to take the role that Ernie plays in the books this I don't remember an Ernie. Ernie? I don't remember an Ernie. Why don't I remember an Ernie? Ernie is the old guy, Conrad. Oh, right. Oh my God, I forgot about him. Yes. The lonely old man. And he's angry and grumpy, but then he gets all sentimental about his wife. Yeah. Ernie. Maybe that's kind of like what that was in season 1 a little bit. Like that was his Ernie. But like, where did he go? Where did he go? Maybe we're gonna get an appearance from Cleveland towards the second half of the season. He's gonna come in. He's gonna be like, "So, Conrad, how are those panic attacks? What's been going on? How's the girl? What's going on with that?" I loved Cleveland. I really, really did. I loved him so much. And I was like, what the heck? How do you all feel about John? How do you feel about where they're going with this? I feel like they're trying to lead us to believe that like John and Laurel are going to maybe get back together. I don't necessarily know if I want to see that. Cleveland was the father figure Conrad needed. Yes. We could all do without Adam. I want to say something really mean, but I feel like I shouldn't. The wrong parent went. Sorry, that was mean, but it's true. Cleveland was the father figure Conrad needed. I like John, but I don't like the plot line with him and Laurel. Right? Like I'm trying to figure out, is it that they implemented John for Laurel to work out the issues that she had within herself in regards to the divorce, right? Because we have that conversation, that was the last episode, right? Yeah. Where she's like he's like, I know you hate me or whatever because the divorce, and she's like, you really think that? I don't hate you. Like, no, like we got divorced because I was so young, because I had kids when I was so young, because I didn't know who I was and I wanted to find myself. Like, that's why our marriage didn't work. It wasn't because I hated you. So I'm like, did they bring back John? One, obviously, because if Belly's getting married, that you kind of have to incorporate the opinion of the father. But two, to just kind of help Laurel work out some things and have her talk to someone because Cleveland's not there. Or are they trying to get them back together? Are they trying to make it like something's brewing between the two of them? And I don't know if I like that. I think it definitely makes sense with Laurel's disapproval of the wedding, but I feel like other than that, it feels a little out of character for Laurel and just out of place in general. Right. That's what I agree with. Like, it's paralleling the disapproval of the wedding because Laurel's thinking, I was young, Belly's young. I jumped into it. Belly jumped into it. I thought I was in love. Belly thinks she's in love. It's obviously a very good parallel, but you didn't have to have Laurel and John sleep together to get to that point. Like, you could have incorporated John into a conversation that had that without that aspect of it. And then and I'm not going to deny, like, when Belly's in the car with him and she's like, this is the song that you used to dance mom around the kitchen to. I was like, that was really cute. And then Laurel gets mad at him or whatever when he wants to go see Steven, and he's like, I think Belly knows. She heard the song that we used to dance to. And then he's walking away and she's like, what song? And he's like, you know what song? And then walks away. I was like, that was cute. That was cute. He's like, you know what song? And I was like, oh, but I don't want them to get back together. I feel like there's like a lot of like little flirting nods between the two of them where I'm like, I think that's what they're trying to do. And I don't know if I want it. I can't look at John without seeing the Maytag man. Who did that? Oh my God. It was a TZ I saw where someone pointed that out. We're like, oh my God, Belly's dad is the Maytag man. I was like, that's so funny. I didn't even, I know him from what is he in? Eureka? Is that what it is? Because my brother Jay, again, Viewmasters Reactions, go check him out. Eureka. He watched it, not Eureka Vacuum. Eureka the show. Yeah. Colin Ferguson is his name. He's on the show Eureka. I've never seen it. My brother has. Absolutely loved it. All of his reactions are on his Patreon. I don't think he edited them for YouTube. But that's what I knew him from. And then now the Maytag commercials overtake that. But yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see what happens with John and Laurel. Am I not remembering correctly? Like Cleveland literally just disappeared, right? I feel like there was reference to him in season 2. I feel like there's reference to him in season 2. But if there is, I haven't gotten that far yet. What I don't even know if I'll be able to see. Because I already have watched them. So when I go back to look at what I've seen, it says that I watched the episode. What episode? No, season 2. Boop. Love Sick. So then it goes to easily. Yeah, I think I'm 19 minutes left of episode 3. So I'm not quite done with episode 3. And I don't think they've mentioned Cleveland yet. They have, you know what I want to do? And I said I was going to do it last season and I never did. They have recipes for strawberry pie, the dirt bombs, s'mores, brownies, and flag cake. And I wanted to make those and I never did. Maybe I'll do it this year. He was in one episode in season 2 where he's at the book event with Laurel, right? Isn't he the whole reason she goes, if I'm not mistaken? Like, he hooks her up with somebody to have the event. And like Laurel, I'm remembering now, Laurel gets to the bar and the girl like has a drink with her or something, like is like, oh, like we're gonna have and then she's like, I'm a big fan, and then that's what gets her to open up to finally talk about the book and talk about Susanna. Is that right? And he says, we may have fizzled out, but I'm still here for you or something. Why did they fizzle out? I guess because of Susanna. She was, because what signs of chaotic writing that was to come in season 3, but I feel like the writing in seasons 1 and 2, while somewhat cheesy still, was, like, so good. And that was one of the things that confused me at the end of season 1. He's, like, so prominent in the story, like, she's really into him. He's really into her. She's, like, loving hanging out with him. Susanna's smiling that she's, like, riding away on his little Vespa with her. It's so cute. And, he's at the Deb ball. Conrad confides in him this information that he, like, will not speak to even Laurel about, like, nobody else. He's so important, I feel. And then, like, Jeremiah finds out, the punch happens, we all find out about Susanna, the episode ends, the season ends, and then it's like, poof, Cleveland's gone. And I was like, "What the hell?" I guess maybe they're trying to convey that, like, after Susanna passed, like, Laurel was not in the headspace to have a relationship. Um, and like even though her and Cleveland were growing close and were really cute and seemingly very supportive of each other and like obviously like a positive impact on each other, it wasn't strong enough or it didn't happen long enough for it to stick through Laurel's grieving for Susanna. Like, that's very personal, and it's maybe just too much. Yeah, he sees her at one event, and they get drinks, and then he connects her with the author group to do the reading, yeah. I think at the end of the day, Susanna and the cancer were a personal family matter, so Laurel was preoccupied, yeah. Have you been watching the extras for season 3? They're doing the Cousins Cup where the cast is competing in challenges? What? Wait, let me do Belly's. What? I can't. I'm losing my voice because I'm talking so much. What? That was better. What? What? Oh my god, I freaking loved when she did that. What? Where? On YouTube? Or is it on Amazon Prime? I have saw no such thing. It's under extras on Prime. What? What? I wonder if that just came out or if they were like do a silly what or like a goofy or an elaborate what or if she was just like what and it just like happens. Oh my gosh, no, I didn't see this. Round 1 mini golf, round 2 bridal fashion design. Oh wait, I only have 2. Is that all there is? I guess the Cousins Cup. There's only 2 of them. Oh my god, I'm gonna react to these. I'm laughing because meet the cast. Belly Conklin, now a junior in college. Belly is dreaming of blah, blah, blah. Conrad Fisher. Conrad is studying medicine at Stanford. Jeremiah Fisher, between finishing college and being blah, 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 blah. Then you get to Adam. Adam is Conrad and Jeremiah's father. It's like nothing good. Well, I mean, it's not a bad thing, but it's like nothing defining about him. They're like, what do we say? He's a jerk. Adam is Conrad and Jeremiah's father. And a founding partner of Breaker Capital, where Stephen, Jeremiah, and Denise work. While his relationship with his sons has been fraught at times, this season he's challenged to show up for Conrad and Jeremiah in new ways. Really? Because where have we seen that? Have we? Maybe we're going to. We haven't seen that yet. They release after the episodes because they talk about the episodes. So in mini golf, they talk about the first 3. Okay, I was like, there's only 2. So technically there should be 3. They stole one from us. So in mini golf, they talk about the first 3 and then they talk about 4 in the bridal. Cool. Yeah. I'm gonna 1 7 minutes, 1 6 minutes. Perfect. I love short things that I can react to and just throw up on YouTube. I'm gonna do that tomorrow. I'll do the episode. I'll take 20 hours to edit. And then I'll react to those and throw them up. That'll be fun to watch. Cool. All right, everybody. Well, I am legitimately starting to feel like I'm losing my voice because we had such an amazing talk session here. So I think I'm going to end it. Again, if you want to be entered in the giveaway for the books, just like, subscribe, comment on the video, share would be nice too. You know what I found? A little trick. You don't even actually have to share the video. You just have to hit share. Are they going to get mad at me? YT, you going to get mad at me for saying this? You don't even have to actually share the video. You just have to hit the share button and it counts as you copying the link. I do it on TT all the time. Whenever my friend lives, I'm like, bing, 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 bing. I just hit the share button. But yeah, do that. Heart hands emoji in your comments, in the comments section. And you'll be entered to win the book. But I appreciate everybody for being here. Oh my gosh, we're at 13 likes. Kenna, 13. Swifties, 13. It's a sign. We're getting music tomorrow. All right. So I love all y'all. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you joining in. I loved our conversation. I cannot wait to see this episode. It is 9 p.m. where I am, so I am going to get to bed nice and early. Wake up, as I said, 5 a.m. in the chair by 6 a.m. Reaction will be posted on Patreon 7 a.m. and I will try to edit it as fast as my little hands can and put it on YouTube for y'all to see. But I hope everybody enjoys it. I'm thinking maybe we'll do another live stream next week to talk about everything that we see because this was so fun. So if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. Again, I love all y'all. Have a good night. Enjoy the episode tomorrow.